Irodare takara Nematumai ose hapu Uticha misa inari Uchachi tungamira sakanaka Dare takara Lechishiki hapu Uticha misa inari Uchachi tungamira sakanaka Dare takara Nematu baba ese hapu Uticha misa inari Uchachi tungamira sakanaka Dare takara Zimbabwe yose hapu Iyecha misa inari Uchachi tungamira sakanaka
Good morning, good afternoon, Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live right here on Change Radio, and we are also live on ZimI. And of course, the topic of our discussion is the senseless recalls by ZANU PF and Shavangu. And of course, we'll also discuss the pending by-elections and the way forward. And of course, to help us discuss that as advertised, we have the spokesperson of Triple C, Mr. Promise Mkwananzi. Of course, he couldn't come here live so that you could see him, but he is here on another gadget. Mr. Promise Mkwananzi, thank you so much to our program. Please do take a few minutes to greet our viewers and listeners.
Thank you, Chairman. Very good evening, very good afternoon, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Please, those who are here, do share this video with as many people as possible so that we can have a decent discussion. Also, use the comment section and let us know what you think about these senseless recalls and, of course, the by-elections that will be coming. We'll also talk about what is going on in Mavuku. There's been a lot of commotion there, and I know Mr. Mkwananzi will be able to let us know, update us on the latest on our abducted comrade, Mr. Tafumanei Masaya, a pastor who was also abducted 2 days ago, and he hasn't been found. But to kick us off, Mr. Mkwananzi, if you can just take us through the issue of recalls, how you see them, and what we should do as citizens and, of course, as a party to try and deal with them.
Well, as you know, that the advent of these recalls is not a new phenomenon in Zimbabwe. It has happened in the past. In fact, historically, you know that ZANU-PF, and in particular Mr. Mnangagwa, has been an aspirant of a one-party state system in Zimbabwe. He has never believed in multi-party democracy. He has never believed in the diversity of the views of our people. He has never believed in the will and the wishes of the people of Zimbabwe, having played a critical role in undermining democratic elections since the advent of our independence in 1980. So this is an ongoing and continuing phenomenon, orchestrated and obviously spearheaded by Mr. Mnangagwa, a well-known despot, a well-known tyrant, a well-known coup orchestrator who believes in a monolithic political system in Zimbabwe. So we've seen this ongoing onslaught on democracy, multi-party democracy in Zimbabwe, reaching its pinnacle in 2008 when our then leader Morgan Tsvangirai had won the elections, and Mr. Mnangagwa played a central role and even bragged about the role he played in undermining that electoral outcome, which then led to the consummation of a government of national unity, which really was not a true reflection of what had transpired in that election. And that onslaught continued after the 2018 elections, in which Mr. Mnangagwa orchestrated the split of the then MDC alliance, and they sided with one side, which started the recalls that we saw then. It is therefore not surprising to be where we are today, where Mr. Mnangagwa, before the ink even dries from our fingers that we voted, the recalls he has started. He has picked a gullible character, a dubious character in the person of Mr. Chabangu to be the imposter that is used to carry out these senseless, needless, and illegal recalls.
Yes, and yes, definitely senseless and needless recalls. Can you confirm, Mr. Mkwananzi, how many members of parliament have been recalled? And is it true that 60 other councillors have also been recalled?
There are several members of parliament that have been recalled initially in Bulawayo, in Harare, and there have been more members of parliament that have recently been recalled, although parliament has not confirmed their recall, and it's clear from the recalls that they are targeting leaders who are key to the CCC party, both in the party, in parliament, and in the general populace. And they've also recalled quite a number, as you say, about 60 councillors across the country, with an emphasis recently on those that were elected through the proportional representation system, obviously, so that because they know that if they go for first past the post and their by-elections, the CCC, due to its popularity and is the legitimate leading political party in Zimbabwe, will be able to retain those seats. So they've increasingly seem to be focused or targeting those that came through the proportional representation, whereby they will just be able to handpick their friends and kith and kin to replace those that were duly nominated by the party.
Wow. Thank you very much. And let's talk about what the movement, the citizen movement, CCC, has done to try and stop these illegal recalls. What action has been taken, and what action is going to be taken going forward?
Well, I think everything that is possible in a lawful society has been done. Immediately when Mr. Chabangu resumed his illegal recalls, there were reports that were made to the police. The Speaker of Parliament was notified that this person was not authorized to do what he was doing, and he was informed of the proper channels that he was supposed to correspond with the court. We've also approached the courts on several fronts in respect of this ongoing illegality. But as you know, the culture of lawlessness that has gripped this country continues to hinder any recourse in terms of the law that we are entitled to, in a scenario where somebody just takes away your brand, takes away your logo, takes away a whole organization unlawfully. In a normal, lawful society, Mr. Chabang should be behind bars. You cannot have a situation where a person just comes from Norway, takes up Microsoft level and say, I'm now the interim chairman or the interim that, and starts to use that to recall members of parliament that were elected and under that ticket. So this is really an ongoing criminality, and we are going to do everything possible and permissible within the laws of our country to ensure that Mr. Chabang is stopped from carrying on these criminal acts. Remember that the CCC is a non-violent, peaceful, democratic party that believes in regime change through democratic elections. We cannot do anything other than follow the legal and lawful channels to stop Mr. Chabang. And it is up to the law enforcers and legal officials within the state to show that they still have the credibility and the impartiality, and that the people of Zimbabwe can turn to them for recourse whenever they are facing a scenario like the one we are facing, where Mr. Chabang continues on a criminal tirade in conjunction with the ruling ZANU-PF party to try and undermine the leading party in Zimbabwe, the Citizens Coalition for Change, led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa.
Thank you very much. To those that are just joining us, we are talking to Mr. Promise Mkwananzi on the senseless recalls that we are seeing continuing to happen in Zimbabwe. Please do share this video with as many people as possible. Let us also know where we are watching from, and do write in the comment section, ask questions to Mr. Promise Mkwananzi, and also give feedback of this discussion. We are trying to raise you, Mr. Mkwananzi, because I know the network might just disappear. There is something, an action that was taken by CCC against the person of Shabangu, I think on Thursday or Friday. Would you want to explain that in simple terms? Do you think that procedure against Shabangu is going to be able to stop the recalls?
Well, to start with, I think that we shouldn't even be recalling people. That is why we've gone to court to try and interdict Mr. Chabang from continuing in this undemocratic path that he has chosen to undertake. We hope that the courts, for the first time, will show that they are real, independent, impartial, and professional. I think that the issue of Mr. Chabang is a commonsensical issue. Is an issue that does not need a rocket scientist, but here is a person who is trying to steal something that other people have worked so hard to create and establish. And Mr. Chabang was nowhere to be seen when that infrastructure was being created, when that support base was being solicited. But today, as we speak, we are having by-elections. Mr. Chabang claims to be the interim Secretary General of our party, which is obviously a lie. And he has not been seen in any of our campaigns trying to help or to provide leadership to the party that he claims to lead. He's only seen when the time for recalls comes, when the times to steal the political finances money in conjunction with ZANU-PF comes. And that is totally regrettable.
Wow. And Mr. Promise, I think this question is going to put you on the spot here, but it's not from me, it's from one of our listeners. And he's saying, Chief, can you please ask Mr. Mkwananzi if it is true that there are some CCC leaders that are working with Mr. Shabangu?
Well, we've, I think, stated repeatedly and tried to clarify with a press conference sometime last week, in which we were clarifying that as far as we are concerned, Mr. Chabang is a ZANU-PF imposter who is working to undermine the democratic alternative in Zimbabwe, which is the Citizens Coalition for Change led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa and other leaders that he leads in collectivity with. We do not expect, we do not anticipate, and we do not imagine that any one of our leaders can be working in cahoots with Mr. Chabang. If indeed there is any who are working in cahoots with Mr. Chabang, it will be very, very regrettable.
Wow, thank you very much. And we jog on, we sprint on and talk about the by-elections, the coming by-elections. Would you want to shed more light? Are we taking part in the by-elections?
Yes, but just to put the by-elections in context, Chief, is that these by-elections are needless. These by-elections were unnecessary. These by-elections are a product of the total annihilation of our constitution as a country, the supreme law of our land. They should not have been occurring in the first place. But here we are. We are dealing with an anarchist regime. We are dealing with an intolerant and monolithic regime that seeks to decimate and destroy the democratic alternative in Zimbabwe. And they want to do so regardless of how much it is going to cost the nation. I've been told of the mammoth budget, several millions of US dollars that are required to conduct this needless by-election. And to add salt is that they have even made even more recourse, as we have just discussed, which also obviously has serious budgetary implications in terms of further by-elections in the country. We have said as a party that we are going to defend our zones of autonomy with everything we have got. We are not going to leave our zones of autonomy to the enemy, which is ZANU-PF. So in that regard, we are going to be contesting, obviously under serious protest. We are going to ensure that we restore and retain those seats. We are going to ensure that we defend the will of the people. As you know, these elections, we won, but in an free and unfair election, in an election that failed the test for a democratic election in terms of our very own laws, the electoral laws of Zimbabwe, the constitution of Zimbabwe, as well as international and regional protocols on democratic elections. The election similarly fell short of those standards, and therefore it was not an election. And these elections are a hocus-pocus strategy by the regime to try and divert the attention of the people of Zimbabwe, as well as of in the international and regional community, from focusing on the flawed election and the fake result that produced the illegal presidency of Mr. Mnangagwa.
Yes, and can you maybe before we allow you to leave, of course, you're going to go to the comment section, but if you can highlight on the situation in Mavuku, it looks like the campaign has started off on a very bad note in Mavuku, where our honorable member of parliament, Honorable Kufa, is matched one more time against Gold Mafia Scott. Any updates from there?
Yes, we already anticipated that the Mavuku election would be violent, would be undemocratic. Already the things that have happened have rendered that election undemocratic. Never mind if our own candidate wins, it will not change the fact that the environment in Mavuku is not conducive for a free and fair election. And they started this decimation of people in Mavuku a while ago with the former member of parliament for that area, a key figure in the by-election campaign, Honorable James Chidakwa, who was abducted, tortured, and induced with an unknown substance and is recovering. And recently, you know that there's been another abduction of a pastor, a high-profile pastor whose whereabouts are still unknown. And you want to know that the vehicle used to make this abduction actually belongs to the ZANU-PF candidate, Scott Sakupkwanya. It is therefore very worrying. And these are just but the high-profile cases that we have picked, you can imagine what is happening to the ordinary activist, to the ordinary resident of Mavuku, as Mr. Scott tries to win this seat by hook or crook. But we continue to say that Mavuku is scot-free, Mavuku is solid. They are determined to ensure that Mavuku is a no-go area for ZANU-PF.
Mr. Mkwananzi, you spoke about the unknown substance. Why do we continue to say unknown substance? Councillor Womberai was injected with that unknown substance, Honorable Chidakwa and also Honorable Ngadzwore. Doesn't anyone know what substance it is?
Well, I'm sure that medical experts are working hard to establish what exactly it is, but we understand that it is a venomous substance that is supposed to eliminate a person in the long run, in the long term, in the next 5 or so years. And we are very concerned about this unknown substance that is allegedly being induced to critical leadership and members of the CCC, the leading party in Zimbabwe.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mkwananzi. I know you need to go. Your last words to the people of Zimbabwe pertaining to the current situation.
Well, my last words is to say that the people of Zimbabwe must remember that all these shenanigans are being orchestrated to try and divert our attention from the question of legitimacy and the legality of Mr. Mnangagwa and the legality and the credibility of the past general election that was conducted on the 23rd of August. We as a party are going to do everything that we can. We are seized with the matters at hand. President Chamisa is in effective and total control of the party. Our people must not worry about whether Mr. Chamisa is still or not in control of the party. He is in total and effective control of the party. He continues to provide strategic and cutting-edge leadership that worries ZANU-PF. The reason why ZANU-PF is behaving the way that they do, they are aware of the cutting-edge leadership and the strategic leadership that Mr. Chamisa is providing. They had wanted him to take a certain route, but he took a different route, and that unsettles them. So we are saying to the people of Zimbabwe, let us remain vigilant, let us remain hopeful, but also let us trust in the leadership that we have bestowed the responsibility to lead. We are going to prevail. We are prevailing. Mr. Chabang and his ZANU-PF charlatans are running out of steam. They are not going to be able to continue to execute these records. We will stop them. We will restore democracy. We will protect our MPs, we will protect our councillors, we will protect the party, we will protect democracy, and we will ensure that the victory of the people of Zimbabwe will come to life.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Mkwananzi, for all the work that you are doing on the ground and your bravery fighting against the dangerous regime of ZANU-PF. And talking about bravery, a lot of people, Mr. Mkwananzi, I have to throw this one in. They believe that you are speaking from outside the country. Were you at one time outside the country? Did you run away from Zimbabwe, or you are in Zimbabwe?
Well, I am in Zimbabwe. I have always been in Zimbabwe. I cannot run away from the struggle. I cannot run away from the country. We have to execute the mandate that President Chamisa bestowed upon us to the best of our ability. And it would be a betrayal to the people of Zimbabwe to leave the country at this point in time and in light of the responsibilities that I carry.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Mkwananzi. We appreciate your time, and once again, thank you for the work that you are doing. And of course, you can let President Chamisa know that the diaspora community is fully behind him. We will continue to defend our zones of autonomy, and the diaspora and social media is one of them. And we'll continue to support anything that will preserve democracy in Zimbabwe. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
There was Mr. Mkwananzi, whom we're speaking to from Harare, and he confirmed that he is actually in Harare. He never left Harare. And of course, giving an update on the ongoing scandalous situation that we are seeing in Zimbabwe, where members of parliament are being illegally removed or recalled from parliament. And we are still here for a few more minutes. We're trying to get hold of Mr. Honorable Kufa from Mavuku so that he can fully explain the situation on the ground in Zimbabwe. But while we're doing that, let's go to the comment section. And the disengagement is the way to go. Esau, James, Jane, watching from England. Thank you so much, Joseph, from Cape Town. But of course, we have just been joined here by Honorable Kufa from Mavuku. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us at such a short notice. You are live here on Change Radio and on Zim I, and there are thousands of people watching here. Can you go ahead and greet our viewers and listeners?
Thank you so much, my brother, for just understanding the situation in Mavuku. I think as Mavuku constituents, we are ready for the by-election. Basically, we also need your attention, and also in terms of broadcasting, so that the things which are happening in Mavuku will be broadcasted, and the world should know what's going on each and every day.
Wow, yes, maybe just getting right into it, Honorable. Can you give us the update on your campaign in Mavuku? I know you just started, but it looks like your campaign got off to a very bad starter with ZANU-PF coming after you and our members in Mavuku. Can you just give us a quick update?
Yeah, it's true. We did launch our campaign on Saturday, and it was very successful in the first place, but it was very unfortunate that some of our members, two of our guys were kidnapped, bundled into two vehicles with unmarked plates. It was Jeffrey Carlos and Tafumane Masai, aged 51, and Tafumane Masai is nowhere to be found. Up to now, to date, we have no information about him. We have no trace. We can't even know what's going on. So we are very worried as a constituents. I believe it's unfair of one just to do intimidation tactics. So they will instill fear into the community so that our voters, the electors, will not come out on the election day, because the same vehicles which were used today, which were used yesterday, we also saw them. I think some of my guys did confirm that they were at the ZANU-PF campus rally. He was having his meeting at number one ground. Those unmarked vehicles were there stationed at his program today. So the ZANU-PF candidate is the one who is sponsoring this violence, and those cars were also used during the election period to distribute food for the polling agents for ZANU-PF. So they are the same cars which have been used to abduct the two guys.
Wow. So you can confirm that Mr. Tafumane Masaya he has not been found. Any trace, anyone who has seen him somewhere? What are the police saying, and what are the members of our community saying? Have you started a manhunt? Like what we did for More Blessing Ali?
Okay, thank you so much. I think the law for Zimbabwe will allow us to make a proper police report tomorrow, because they say soon after 48 hours. So I think tomorrow morning, 48 hours, we'll be almost there on the clock, 48 hours. So we'll then formally make a police report. So I've been talking to the wife of Mr. Masaya. So we agreed that tomorrow morning we'll formally make a police report. And we also can make some traces, because when Carlos was dumped in Chabwino, around Shamba area, he did confirm that the other vehicle, which Mr. Foward was abandoned into, just passed, I think, using the other road. So we want them to make some trace along those areas.
Wow. Yeah, this is very sad, Honorable. tisati kuti muende chimboyatsotitaurirai kuti campaign yenyu yakamira sei uye zvii mungade kubatsirwa nazvo zviri kukunetsai ikoko. Vanhu varipo vakateerera pano vanenge vachida kukubatsirai, motitaurirai kuti kana vachida kubatsira vanokubatsirai sei, nekuti vanhu vakawanda vari kunetseka nenyaya yemabhuku, havasi kuda kuti mabhuku iende, uye kune vanhu vakawanda zvikuru vada kukubatsirai.
The only challenge that I had since yesterday, I think our numbers, but the launch day, I think we have got a number one day, but last, but the second day campaign, so so we need them to beef up in terms of security, also to find support from other constituents, neighboring constituents, but it goes with a cost because currently we also need at my place of residence. Yeah, the security kuti pange paine vanhu varipo, so vanhu kuti vanga vachiungana vachigara vanenge vachida zvekudyana nezvimwe zvinobatsira kuti kampeni yedu ifambe, maflyers, maposter, so vanhu vakabva musarudzo nguva yapfuura manyaya dzemaflyer nemaposter, macampaign material, I think no challenge, because for the meantime, but t-shirt of course, but let's do nema issues of visibility, maflyers, poster. They also staff channel wanenge vachibva kwemaconstituency mamwe vachititsigira, so those are my challenges atogona kuti wane, but tikawana rutsigiro zvotibatsira kuti campaign iende mberi.
Okay, so kana vanenge vachida kubatsira vanokubatsirai sei, vanokubatai sei?
Number yangu hiyo ndio number yangu iko cash. Also I don't know vanenge vachibva kuti batsira vachibva nenzira dzipi, but my eko cash number hiyo unobata pa number yangu, the same number plus 263 emuZimbabwe.
Munokwanisa kuitaura here?
Plus 263 772 63 8030. Rekedza ndi dzokuru reke chipiri. Plus 263 772 63 8030.
Okay, thank you very much. To those that are just joining us, we are talking to Honorable Kufa Kutizgwi, the Member of Parliament for Mavuku. You remember that he's one of those people that were recalled by Shabangu, and he is going into a by-election against Scott, the gold mafia man. And he has already started his campaign, but it has been marred by violence, with ZANU-PF abducting members of his campaign team. And we are with him right here, and he says the most help that he needs is, of course, for visibility purposes, flyers, posters, and also fuel and food for those people that will be doing the door-to-door campaigns. And those who want to help, please do get in touch with him at his number plus 263 772 63803. Leo, if you can put the number up on the screen, the number again, 772 63803. Please, let's help Honorable Kufa retain our biggest, or one of our biggest zone of autonomy, Mavuku. We can't afford to let Mavuku go to ZANU-PF. As we finish, what are your chances, Honorable Kufa? Do you think you are going to retain the seat? What can you promise the people of Zimbabwe?
For the past 2 days, I think as of Saturday and yesterday, I think we started with the Old Mavuku area, and today we are also in Old Mavuku. People are very raring to go, and the people are still in the election mode. So what we need to do is just to revive their spirit. So we need to be visible on the ground so that we give them confidence, regardless of all this intimidation going on. So what we need to do is to be vigilant. We need to be also on daily basis to go into the campaigns, on door-to-door visibility, talking one-on-one with these people. Also, we are trying also to plan to do yellow letters for the church members, so that we issue to each and every church members during the the Sunday during weekend church service, after church service, we distribute the yellow letters so that we have communication. There is communication because we issue for holding rally, public rallies. I think it will be the last option, but I think the effective means and way is to do a one-on-one with the community people so that we revive the spirit of the electors.
Okay. And lastly, Honorable, what words do you have for the person who recalled you? Because we know that this affects a lot. You are a recalled member of parliament. You've gone through a campaign, and now you're going back again to campaign.
We record to the nation that he once engaged me trying to say my apology, but currently I don't even his contact. As the day one when the recall was done, I never talked to him. I don't have his number. So for me, to say he's saying we did by mistake, we believe, and that's my strong conscience. My conscience tells me that Mabuku was just done out of to please the God Mafia. I believe they were given money by his court cases of Wanya. Why Harare? Out of all the constituents in Harare, 8 constituent plus is including Chitungwiza, not only the Rua, or only Harare. And my nickname now, as of the last election date, I was called Mebo, but now people are now saying Harare one, meaning I was the only one in Harare. So it's draining my pocket.
Oh, that's so sad. Thank you very much, Honorable. We appreciate you, and we'll definitely get in touch so that we can help you with your campaign. God bless you.
Thank you, my brother. Take care.
Thank you. You too. That was Honorable Kufa from Mabuku, one of our
We can't hear you, Chief. Maybe you may have to check your device. Then maybe can't hear you anymore. Chief, your phone has no sound at all. Your gadget is not giving out sound at all. We can't hear anything from you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to watch our show. I think Mambososo is having internet issues and maybe we might just have to close. I don't know if Mambo Sosha is going to be able to fix his gadget, but you still don't have sound, Chief.